Hello, I'm Beth the Builder, and that's right, it's headboard time! So, I said before with my pallet bed that I have some spare pallets, and so I chopped the edges off like I have with other pallet videos where I've just streamlined the whole breaking down pallets thing. I'm not gonna like pull out 1,000 nails for this free pallet wood. So I chopped the ends off, or the edges, and then the middle parts, it's only like 2 nails per board. So it's a lot easier to get the pieces intact if that's what you're going for, and that's what I wanted for this. And it's just a lot less time consuming. So this is only 2 pallets worth, and I'm using pretty much every single piece of it other than some really scabby looking ones. And I also ended up only using 3 of the end pieces, and I used those as braces underneath. And then I used some scrap pieces to like really secure things in place. It's pretty heavy, which is to be expected when you're using 2 full pallets worth of wood. I have to get creative with how I'm gonna hang it. But so far we've just done breaking down the pallets, cutting them all. I gotta use my miter saw, a crap load. It's behind me over there. It's the most satisfying thing in the world. It's not like a fancy name brand one. And if you're not a contractor, you can totally get away with something that's like cheaper because you're not gonna be using this thing every fucking day, okay? So for all you like tool hoarders, you know, I guess I can't really talk because I have a lot of tools, but for people who are like, I gotta have every single tool, maybe you don't need like every single name brand tool. I'm just saying, because you're not a contractor, you're not a construction worker, you're not a carpenter, okay? So like slow your roll a little bit. So yeah, most of us handy people, DIYers, can get away with like something that's gonna do the job and that is still good, but it's not like top of the budget of like, you can get miter saws that are like $800 or more. So I don't need that. This is gonna serve my purposes for a good long time, and I freaking love it. I love it. It's so satisfying. So anyway, I'll digress about singing my miter saw's praises because I love it so much. So I've chopped all my boards, and all of them are at 22.5-degree angle for this setup exactly. And then to fill in this, I haven't decided if this is the top or the bottom. I think it's the top. I had to cut these pieces like special as I was going, so that I used my circle saw. So I'm gonna sand this puppy down with my belt sander, and then I'll probably finish it off with my hand square sander, and make sure everything's secure. And then I'm gonna trim these ends, the 2 sides, and I'm gonna use my circle saw for that. So let's do that, and then we'll get into hanging it. So while I'm sanding this guy down and cutting these ends, this would be a great time for you to like and subscribe, and then also check out the description below where you can find, first of all, I don't plug this enough, you can find a code to get a discount at Cutsall if you are into carving. Cutsall is totally the way to go. So there's a discount there, and if you buy anything with my discount code, I get a percentage. There's also my Etsy shop, and then also my Patreon, and then all the other places you can follow me. But Etsy and my Patreon are probably the 2 ways that are really helpful to me. But obviously, no pressure. You know, I'm doing this shit because I love it, and I like building things, and I like sharing it with people, and hopefully, you know, motivating others to try this stuff. I'm not like all in it on like getting people's money or something. That's never ever my point. But if you do like this stuff and you do want to support me, there are ways you can do that in the description below. here we have it. So my headboard is all done and hung, and heck yeah, I'm super happy with it. So this is happening more and more for me, that I have an idea in my head and then I like execute it, and it actually goes like really, really well, which is like really satisfying because it means all the skills and the things I like and I care about and am trying to get better at, I am actually getting better at. I got to use my miter saw for the first time with this, and so satisfying. I friggin' love that thing. It's of course not a necessity, but boy howdy does it like really get the job done, and it's precise and it's great. I can't even, like, now I'm like, why? I can't even imagine not having it. No, I can. It hasn't been that long. I've used it for one project. So besides my miter saw, which is not a necessity, of course, for this project, you just need a saw to chop boards. I used hammer and nails mostly to tack it all together, and my frame is mostly just scrap pieces, like, or not a frame, but like what I nailed everything to was just scrap pieces from the 2 pallets. So all pallets have thicker, like 2x4s pretty much on the sides, and then sometimes the one in the middle, depending on how big or small the pallet is. And I used those as essentially a brace in the middle and then one on either side. And then some pieces for this top part, I used also just some scrap wood. So this would probably be easier if you just had a big piece of plywood. You could cut it to the shape you wanted and then just tack all your boards to it. That would of course be easier. But you know how much a sheet of plywood is right now? It's like, I don't know, $40 or some shit. So, and I have scrap wood, and I could have used other boards that I happen to have that maybe would be easier, but I like to be frugal with my wood, so I just used the pieces of the pallets that were already like standard sizes. They worked out pretty well. So my boards were all longer than I really needed them for the most part, so I tacked them all in place and then I trimmed the excess so I would have really good straight lines, which mostly went to plan, although this side, having it up on the wall, I could tell it was not completely straight. So, which, oops, not a big deal because, I mean, who else is going to be in my bedroom? Okay, like no one's going to see it. Oh my god, except for all of you guys. So you could have just left it as like a V, but I decided to fill in this top part. And I could have trimmed this bottom as well to be more like rectangular, but I kind of like the V on the end. I think it's kind of interesting. So yeah, hammer, nails, and a saw. Pretty much it. You could use a bunch of wood glue as well if you were just putting it on a piece of plywood. That would work really, really well, but I was very low on wood glue, so I did not do that. But that's also an option of something you could try. And with all the scrap wood, like, you can make it whatever shape you want. Like, you could have done more of like a what's it called, like cross-hatched, oh man, what is that pattern called? What the fuck? Okay, well, I can't remember the name of the pattern. I'll put what I'm thinking of right here when I eventually figure it out. You could do some fun patterns with it. You could do it all like up and down and then, you know, make it much simpler in cuts and everything. I was pretty set on doing it this way, of having it all angled, and I really like how it turned out. Aside from the angled stuff, really, it's very simple. Once I tacked it all together, sanded it, and then I stained it. And this is a combination of my colonial maple and my dark walnut stain. I'm pretty sure it was those two because I didn't want it super dark, but I didn't want it like maple, like really light. So it's a custom color of kind of a warm, nice wood color. It has some warmth to it. It's not crazy dark. And then I didn't bother sealing it because I didn't want to. There you go. That's it. But if you have a hammer and nails and some kind of saw, you can make a headboard. So there you go. You can make it whatever shape you want. You can stain it whatever color you want. You could make it like, you could do like a painted, like distressed type look, paint it and then put stain on it after sanding and stuff. So you could do that, which would be really cool. You can just make whatever you want. So As I started to put my headboard together, I'd already been thinking about it, but I started to really consider how I'm going to hang this very heavy thing. So I was thinking about maybe I would need to go and buy brackets, what I could do. I didn't want to secure it to the headboard because the bed frame, sorry, because I don't like that. I think it's dumb. So I did really want to hang it. That was my idea. So I had to think about, how do I hang this? How can it be secure so it doesn't fall on our heads, because that would suck. And I don't have to buy anything. And I remembered I'd seen this thing. So the thing is French cleats. And boy howdy, the things I had seen about it anyway, where I learned about this, people were like hot and bothered about it. Like they are like Nicolas Cage, manic, turning into Ghost Rider, excited about it. Luke Skywalker showing up in The Mandalorian, just hard for it. A dad finding a bucket on the side of the road level of excitement about French cleats. They're like moms going to Hobby Lobby level excitement. They were like basic bitches in September preparing for pumpkin spice lattes and hashtag sweater weather. Anyway, people are excited about it. That's what I had seen anyway. It seemed like these French cleats will blow your mind. They're gonna change the way that you build things. And I was like, wow, that is a really big promise. Like, it seems like intense, okay? And I have to admit, like, wow, really handy. I really like them. But whoa, everybody. First of all, you can buy them. You can buy metal ones. But you can also make your own, which is awesome. So they're either at a 30 or a 45 degree angle, and they are used for hanging like cabinets and heavy things. And basically you can do this with like a 2x4 or some other kind of sturdy wood. You just need it to not be shitty like particle board. And you get a board, well, we'll say a 2x4, and you cut it at a 45 degree angle. And you put one piece on your wall. And the 45 degree angle point is going to be closer to you, facing up. And the other piece is going to be on the thing you want to hang, and it's going to be facing down. And the 45 degree angle point at its highest point is going to be, again, closer to you. And then but it's upside down. And then these points, they go kink when you put them together, when you go to hang your thing. I went with doing 2 shorter ones. I literally measured the distance I wanted, put them in place. I had to raise them up on the actual headboard so that they could get to the wall brackets. And then my spouse came and helped me, and we just went like ka-chunk onto the wall. So satisfying. I did lower them actually, so there are a few extra holes in my walls, which I don't give a fuck about. Anyone, I'm looking at you. Anyone who gets upset about holes in walls, I'm looking at you. Shut the fuck up. Like, get out of here. Get out of here right now. I don't want to hear it, okay? Guess what? They make a bajillion, that's a made up word. They make a bajillion different products for filling holes in plaster or cement or drywall or whatever the fuck, okay? For filling holes in that shit, okay? So you put holes in your walls. And if you have to put an extra hole in the wall, who cares? Of course, there's an extreme to this, that if your wall is literally just one big hole, yeah, that could be a problem. But when it's your house and you gotta, like, you know, find a stud or whatever, you accidentally put an extra hole in the wall, no one is going to care, okay? And anyone who would shame you, like, get out. Just get out. So, there are a couple extra holes in this wall, which I just don't care about, because I wanted this to be lower, actually. Once I had it in place, it was a little bit high, and I was like, you know what? I'm here, I have help. I'm just gonna lower them quick, and I'll fill the holes in later. It's legit not a big deal. The holes are teeny tiny comparatively to like punching a hole in the wall or something. So don't worry about it. That was a personal choice on my part to lower it. I didn't need to, it looked fine, but I wanted it to be lower. And that's just a word of the wise. I would say put the brackets on your thing first and then put the brackets on the wall. I just did it reversed because I just did. I just did it. I did the ones on the wall and then I went to put them on my headboard, and I should have done it the other way around, which isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal, okay? All right? We don't need to cry over spilled milk or spare holes. So this cost me $0, first of all, scavenged pallet wood, and then I had all the supplies because of those fancy ass French cleats. I really like using pallet wood for stuff like this because it just has a really, really unique look. And they're free, which everyone knows free wood is the best wood. So I do really hope that any of the projects I do help encourage people to try things. I am not expert or a master of any of this stuff, so it really just takes some desire to do the thing and a little bit of like courage to maybe fuck it up. But I guarantee this, you'll learn something and it might go really, really well, and you'll be like, heck yeah, I did that, I built that thing, I fixed that. What? This is not a world to be gate kept. We don't need to it doesn't need to be a mystery. It doesn't need to be like behind closed doors of like, well, how do you do that? Like, when people are like, don't ask questions or something. It can be a world of inclusive DIYing and like how-tos, and more people should probably do that stuff because it's only going to be more and more expensive to buy brand new things as well as hire people to do those things for you. So as long as you're not like genuinely risking life and limb to do that, if you use some common sense, shut off the power, follow safety precautions, wear safety things like goggles and gloves and steel-toed boots and maybe a hard helmet if you need to. Like if you do all those things and you have some common sense, you'll get pretty far and you might solve that problem without having to like wait around for repair people or spend the money, because we all know, well, maybe we don't all know, but things are only going to be more expensive moving forward. So I really want to encourage like all people, not just like women, because I'm a woman, to do this stuff. Really, it's all people, because these are all really, really good skills to have. Knowing how to use simple tools as well as more complicated tools like a chainsaw or a miter saw or a router or whatever. Those skills are really, really valuable, okay? Let's just leave it at that. So I hope you like this. Subscribe if you want more. I will have new videos every week. If you want to, I keep burping. If you want to, go to my Patreon where I have exclusive content. You can support me. I also have stuff for sale at my Etsy store. I will be putting out maybe more merch soon, so like be on the lookout for that. If you are a patron on my Patreon, thank you. You're great. I'll be carving some more. I've got some other projects in the works. Probably, I don't know. Right now, I don't know. But otherwise, I appreciate all you guys. I just do. I really do. So go make your own headboard, scavenge some pallets, steal them from places maybe. I don't know, no one's gonna catch you, probably. Just kidding, I'm not. Maybe ask first if you're not sure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Fanboys jizzing their pants for Zack Snyder's 4.5 hour long Justice League level of excitement, which I watched, by the way, okay? And boy howdy, there are no words for the garbage that is that movie. Zack Snyder, please stop sucking your own dick. Please. They're like nerds seeing Elon Musk jizzing all over Twitter, excited. They're like teen boys discovering a level of excitement. They're like Star Trek fans seeing Patrick Stewart and his old ass wandering around the set of fucking Picard. Stay-at-home moms watching organization videos on TikTok of people putting things in one box and putting them in tinier boxes. Level of excitement.